Howdy. I realized that I should probably make another video just to keep stuff rolling, and I also wanted to contribute stuff to a sort of hobby vlog, but my weekends are surprisingly pretty taken up. So I just wanted to get something out there and update what's going on, the stuff I'm planning on. On the table right now, you can see that I have oddly kind of a mix of things in a way. I don't think that was actually ever set on properly. Anyways, so working on a Greyhound, but obviously I don't have it all put together. There's really a main reason for that. Also decided to try to magnetize it the same way as I did the Scout car, as you can see, and it was a lot more difficult to do that. I will definitely have some comments about the quality of this kit. I got this as part of a Warlord mystery box for the Americans. It was one of only 2 things I actually kept from that box because it was all but one box was American Airborne, and when I bought the mystery box, I had thought, oh, well, I mean, if I do something like Russians, I'm not totally sure if the Soviets, rather, if I do the Soviets, the Japanese, or the British, I mean, I don't have anything there already, and I don't really know if I should try to start another army. I had started with the Germans because my thought was have targets to shoot at and then build up things to shoot away. I am someone who is willing to play the bad guys so that other people can have fun playing the good guys. But when I was actually working on my Americans, I was thinking about it and thought, you know, I don't think there's anything from the American line that I wouldn't have a use for. I would have a use for regular GIs, for Marines, for Rangers. I mean, anything that I get from that mystery box is going to be really great. And then I got almost all airborne. It was Greyhound and a box of Rangers that I got that... Oh wait, no, it was... Okay, so I got those 2. And then I got an M3 Lee, I think it was. It was a double turret one, which that's... the plastic one, which that's great. I think it's a fascinating tank, but there is, to my knowledge, no campaign which I am interested in building Americans for, no theater which I'm interested in building Americans for, that used the Lee. I'm sure that it was used at the campaign through Italy, trying to get into the middle and all that. But I couldn't find any records of it being used there, really. And the American Airborne, oddly enough, the units that I want to create and the battles that I'm interested in didn't involve the American Airborne. So the mystery box was almost a complete wash for me. But I said, hey, you know, I'll keep the Greyhound, see what I can do with it. And then finally putting this kit together, it's an Italieri kit. There were so many things in here that were just a pain in the rear. The hatches on here, I'm not sure if you can really see it. Let me see if I can get it to the camera. Yeah, you can see those massive gaps in there. Putting the hatches on was a pain in the rear. I was afraid of how much I might be cutting off of them. Maybe I'd be cutting too much off and I'd mess it up. It was a pain. And the barrel. So, I honestly should know the terms for this, but the armor that actually protects the gun itself here. Let me see if I can get the camera to take a look at that. Hey, come on. No, that's probably not going to happen. You talker. Anyways, the armor here. So that piece of armor slides down the end of the barrel, which the barrel is already fed through this, I'm not sure if you can see the line separating it, but yeah, that line right there. Sorry, probably not point with my fat 500 meter fingers. That line right there. That is a separate piece that you put the barrel through, and then you put this armor piece over the barrel until you can put it into place here. The hole that the barrel is supposed to go through was so tight that I broke the barrel. It was actually so tight I couldn't get it on. And I forget if I was trying to shove it further on or if I was trying to take it back off, but it didn't work out, broke the barrel, and so this green stuff job where I tried to do some kind of camouflage wrap on there, I'm not sure how well that's being picked up, but just try to put some kind of wrap on there. That's the best idea that I could figure for how to keep the barrel on. I'm really disappointed with that. Also, the kit included a bazooka with it, which the box details mention that bazookas were carried in some of the scout cars. Wow, this is just, I'm sorry, I'm using camera for the first time, not really able to figure, okay. But it mentions that the bazookas were used for anti-armor ability in light of it being a scout car, the one without the anti-tank gun on there. But it didn't have an official place for it to be put, so I just green stuffed some straps on the side based off of some reference photo, a reference photo that I found that showed a bazooka on the outside of the car. That was the best I could do, and yeah. There's also, I got some blue stuff in, that's one of the things that came in, and so I am trying to, also based off of some reference photos, make some stowage compartments for the scout car, because, and also considering magnetizing this stuff, because the, I'll just throw that down, the kit officially comes with jerry cans. Wow, this is not showing up well, but jerry cans and what it calls ammunition, which is real illuminating. 3 little cylinders here. When I saw that ammunition, I immediately thought, okay, what in the world could that be? I don't remember the Americans using cylindrical magazines for the machine guns. I mean, the 50 cal that's right here uses a very obviously rectangular one, and if this is supposed to be right here on the side of the scout car, I'm assuming they don't just have the ends of the shells sticking out of the car and they just pull a shell further inside and then load it into the main gun. So that didn't make any sense. Not like it's an anti-tank round kind of ammunition. Looking at photos I could find, it's not ammunition as in for another gun, it's anti-tank grenades. I'm sorry, not grenades, anti-tank mines. It's these cylindrical mines that have a little ring on top that is then supported by pieces of metal, so if an infantryman walks over it, it's not going to go off, it's not going to depress. But if a vehicle walks over it, it's going to break those metal supports, push down on it, and then will activate. To represent that, I kind of want to put a strap over these like I saw in the reference images, because right now it's just cylinders hanging out there that aren't secured, and it just, I mean, it's a detail, but it's not that detailed of a thing. Which I feel there's an opportunity there. But also, because I'm considering magnetizing that. But then, I discovered that sometimes there were stowage boxes. Sometimes the stowage was open, and you could see these kind of exposed racks. Sometimes there were stowage boxes. It's going to be very difficult for me to make those, because there's nothing really like that. The best I can find is if I take a couple of pieces of the panels and fuse them together into the kind of box and then put it on the sign. But I want to see if I can magnetize all three of those, and if I could be able to magnetize the skirts. Honestly, probably not going to be able to. That's probably a waste of time. But it was a fun idea. I got blue stuff and I wanted to use it. Also, tried to blue stuff the Tesla section of the Sherman Tesla turret because I want to make my own Tesla Grizzly. I'm just perpetually insisting upon doing stuff my own way. I can't ever do it the way I'm supposed to. That's kind of a habit of mine. Anyways, oh yes, something that I had going on at the same time as doing passengers for the M3 white scout car was I made way too much green stuff, and so I used the extra to make some just random little sandbags that I would be able to use in bases or maybe on a piece of terrain. Honestly, probably not a piece of terrain. Just too few of them, but it should be something that I can use to spice up a base here and there. But that's just the stuff I have on the hobby table right now. Something that I have on the agenda is actually a paint rack that I recently purchased, and I'm going to have to assemble, which will be fun. But that will help me organize my painting space, as I've just moved into this place, basically. Okay, it's decreasingly just moved into, but my hobby space is a mess. And my lady she's not mad about it, but I want to have it in better condition for her, so she doesn't have something that could get annoying. Anyways, and so I also got a few other orders. And the first one was from Sprue Dude, where I decided to order a sprue of the... I forget the name of these. They are from War Games Atlantic. It is a sci-fi with World War II German aesthetic kind of deal. I think that they are supposed to be some kind of stand-ins for the Imperial Guard. But I had an idea of them maybe being useful as alternate German power armored guys. It's a very different aesthetic to what Clockwork Goblin originally came up with, and I'm not so optimistic about my idea now. I do hope to have a sprue breakdown on this, because I think it is an interesting setup. There are some interesting things in here, but that's going to be a good ways out, as I've got a lot of things going on. Also, some small thing that actually happened today was in a trade of War Games. I have now come into possession of, oddly enough, a bunch of U.S. airborne metal models. Although the fact that it's metal models, for some reason, makes me more specifically interested in them. They do have some more interesting poses. I think that there is some decent pose variety, which is something that I am interested in discussing. The posability of metal versus plastic models, as having a monopose model actually does do a lot to give the artists some room to work with more difficult poses. Having a multi-part model that rifle is bent all the way around. Anyways, having a multi-part model, especially a multi-part posable model, requires the artist to account for effectively an engineering problem of, okay, how are we actually going to make this possible? How are we going to account for the different variety? And it just it's a complication, and it's a restriction on the artists, but multi-part posable plastics are a really important thing for the development of the hobby, I think. I'm kind of thinking of keeping these. I don't really know what to do with them. Also, especially since I don't think Warlord actually produces these models anymore. I haven't gone and checked that. I just got these today. But yeah, I'm interested in them now, oddly. Yeah, so that's what? It's a MG team, a Mortar team, a Zook team, plus several guys. Okay, that's 9, 10. Let me see. Alright, so that's 13 random guys plus the special weapon teams, which each of them are at least 2-man. One of them looks like it has a guy with binos, so that could go either to the Mortar or to the MG team, honestly. I'm curious as to what I can do with these guys. I do have a special fascination of metal models. But then I also got something, a specific order from Rubicon Models, which, if I can clear this package out, I've got a Willys Jeep, which will actually be my first Jeep in my collection. Kind of weird that I don't have one already, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Then I also decided to get the Jeep trailer. I'm not totally sure how much use I'll be able to get out of this. I'm not even sure where it was specifically used. Warlord has trailers for the Airborne and for, I think, SAS. I think there's also a U.S. Airborne handcart. But this it's something that's a non-combat item, which then makes me infinitely more interested in it because I'm weird and silly. Also decided to get some terrain, some Dragon's Teeth and Czech Hedgehogs. It's apparently got a pattern in there for the Dragon's Teeth, which I find really neat, and just reusing the box for that pattern layout I think is rather nice of them. That's honestly pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited to break into these kits. I know I'm not going to be able to use the same plastic glue that I have been using. I may go by a hobby store and look at some options for the specific kind of glue. But right now I'm just excited to have some more Rubicon kits. Now, the big deal that I have going on is a box I have gotten on Monday and have not been able to open until today because I have been busy. But it is from Perry Miniatures. Okay, let me see how I should break this open. That's US 7, US 5, 2 US 3s? Okay. 8, 9... I basically bought all of Perry Miniatures' US range, at least that I'm aware of. So I went ahead and got the Perry Miniatures plastic US infantry kit, which I am dying to break into. No, this was 42 figures, and if I recall correctly, it was $30-some. It was extremely cheap. It was cheap compared to Warlord games, which I will acknowledge, maybe it's not as high detail as Warlord's models, but I have heard that Perry Miniatures also has a tendency to be more true scaled and have more uniform accuracy emphasis. So there's something rolling around in here. Okay, that's disappointing, but not the end of the world. So I'm really interested in breaking into a World War II Perry Miniatures kit. I'll talk about some more stuff later, but where have I? Okay, apparently I've set my pocket knife down, so I'll have to use a hobby knife for these. But this next biggest box is looks like the M3 White Scout Car from Perry. So we've got some metal bits, which include crew, wheels, it looks like MG, and some other components of the vehicle. And then the largest bit of it is the hull, of course, and a resin roller for, I forget what the term for this was called, but it was a roller, as I understand it, for getting out of ditches, just making the vehicle more all-terrain in a way. So yes, I got another M3 White Scout Car. That may seem quite silly. On one hand, I may still have a use for it in-game, as I found the Scout Car have to be really useful, and sometimes I thought, man, I just wish I could drive more people onto the battlefield. So that may be something that I end up doing, of just running two of them, but the main purpose is I kind of want to get a Scout Car from every manufacturer, including my 3D printed one from a friend, and compare them, look at, just kind of give an assessment of some of the options. As I've seen reviews of single kits on various places, but I am also interested in having a single place that things are compared. I think that could be very interesting and useful to some people. So that was US 7. Yes, that was US 7. And the infantry plastic kit is understandably US 1, has it on the box. I do not see a US 2, but I have two separate US 3s here. So I'll open one of them up first real quick. They also all make very clear these are not toys. So that looks to be the mortar team. I'm not sure how well it's going to show, but it's metal mortar team. Looks like got a set of ammunition, which is something that I really appreciate. Something that I've kind of found lacking in Warlord models is, I guess really the only mortar team I have from Warlord at the moment, aside from the metal airborne team that I just got today. But even that one, so all two of the mortar teams I have from Warlord, the only ammunition is the ammunition being held by someone about to put it in the mortar, which I find kind of silly. I mean, I understand it's more stuff that one has to model and make, that's weight and shipping. It's for something that most people aren't caring about. Most people just, okay, this is a second mortar team. Interesting. I recall ordering the Browning 50, which I think may be US 2, so I may have to send in a notice about that. This is US 4, which looks, yes, the American tankers on foot and also just mounted in their vehicles. Love me grease gun, very nice. Something to spice up the armor that I have going on. Just something a little bit more than whatever comes with the kits, because those are limited. Those are kind of get you by models. The stuff that comes with the kit. I'm taking a Joe cannon. So very nice. I'm excited about that. Honestly, I need to make more armor, which may be a silly thing for me to say. US, I'll just throw that. Okay, Now I am confused. The US number 5 is the Browning 50 cal. I just threw things all over the place. Yeah, got one gentleman here. Yeah, got the man on the 50, man bringing ammo up, got the tripod. Okay, so I've got the 50. That's interesting. Now US 6. I'm gonna have to look on Perry's website and see what number 2 is, because I'm so confused right now. Okay, this one is, it's odd. There's the kind of residue I can see on, I guess it's not showing up on camera very well. There's some kind of residue that is clearly visible on, let's see, is this, yeah, this is a resin casting. It's clearly there. Okay, I'm going to do my darndest to clean that up. It just doesn't look appealing. Oh, and it's different kinds of plastic. The wheel looks a bit rough, I will say. Ooh, and maybe a bit fragile in some places. I'm gonna have to look at that and be careful about that. Uh-oh, let me not throw that down. But this is the, I guess, I don't know what the official term for it was, but I guess recon Jeep or what have you, that comes with a full complement of crew with a MG mounted on top of it. So I'll have 2 Jeeps in my army once I get all these built. Now on to US 8. I apparently also skipped US 7. Let me just, oh wait, no, that's right. The M3 White Scout Car is US 7. Okay, so I'm just missing 2. Okay, so here are the various poses, some more metal models of US. Most of them are rifles. There are 2 SMGs in here. Got some crouch poses. I appreciate the, I forget what the official term for it is. I think it's low carry. Instead of carrying their weapons in a way, like always having them on the shoulder, aiming down while they're walking around, it's these low carry poses. And that's something that's not seen as much in some plastic kits, as it's not the action pose, but it's a pose that they're going to have been in for most of the time that one was serving. And so I appreciate those, what I see as less common poses, the less action hero poses. I'm seemingly ever a contrarian. Sorry. And these are some more riflemen. So, got, oh, that's one thing about the packaging. It's clinging to them like nobody's business. So, one man, I guess, I'm not sure if that's prone. He's just laying on the deck, reaching into his pouches. Oh man, I am so sorry. He's laying on the deck, reaching into his ammo pouches to put another M-block in his Garand. That's the kind of pose that I also just really appreciate prone poses, because they are so rare with plastic kits. But there's something that helps differentiate. It looks different. To me, it looks interesting. So I just really love prone poses, a laying down pose, a reloading pose. That's, so a crouched reloading pose. Let me see if I can get it focused on that. Come on now. Come on now. Oh, I had it there for a second. But you may be able to make out that he's actually reaching his hand up to put an M-block in his Garand right there. And I just appreciate poses like that. Yeah, okay, he's not firing, and there is a firing pose in here. This one's obviously firing pose, yeah. But having less common poses, I think, also helps keep models visually interesting. And I think that's important. So I have US 1, 3, 4. I have US 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I will take a quick look as to whether that's what I ordered. Now that I think about it, I actually didn't see a packing slip in here. Unless I just completely dumbed out and put it to the side as soon as I opened the box, but I don't think I did, because I opened the box right here. But I've got a bunch of new toys, I've got a bunch more stuff to work on, and something I do appreciate about the metal models is that it's going to allow me to speed up my model building, because I tend to worry a lot about what exactly I'm doing when building the models. So hopefully that will speed up my model building, which means I'll be able to get some more models painted. But I'm really excited to get into that. Now, something else I have going on, I do plan to post a video this weekend if I can, but it's going to be something very different. Something that I hope not to do much on the channel, but it's going to be giving personal thoughts on Conflict 47 version 2, specifically looking at criticism for it, as there is plenty of praise for the second version that's coming out and not a lot of criticism, which I think is equally as important. So, for now, that's all I have going on. Honestly, I should get to sleep here soon, because I'm planning on being at work bright and early. We'll see how that works out for me. But yeah, I can't believe I've been talking for over 30 minutes. Thank you for watching, whoever does watch this. I hope that this is inspiring and getting your work done on a hobby project if you want. And may hopefully introduce you to some manufacturers that don't get as much attention as Warlord does as the producer of the system. But yeah, I hope that anyone watching this has a wonderful day, and you stay safe and stay cool. Bye.